Hey everyone, so this is going to be a different sort of video, a break from furniture, because our front porch is trashed. We are replacing, for now, just all of the broken boards, because we couldn't fit 16 footers in the truck, so we're going to have to go back and get those to do the rest, but I am going to show you how I will replace these broken boards, so I'll set you up. But before that, these are the screws that I'm using. Star bit comes with the bit. And I'm replacing these steps too. And since we got 8 footers, I'm gonna have to cut them with a miter saw, so I'll show you that too. So it came with the bit for the new screws, but the old screws take a square bit, so I have that too. So I'll set you up, and I'll get to work. And the boards that I am using are just 8-foot long 2x6 pine deck boards. Hey everyone, I am actually recording these vocals right now after I had already replaced everything that needed to be replaced with this deck. So weeks later. So I know a lot more about what is going to happen than you do. And let me tell you, it's a lot more than you're probably expecting right now based on what I said at the beginning of this video. And I feel that a lot of context needs to be given before you continue watching this video. So I was hired to do this front porch by my dad. We were originally just going to replace all the deck boards, prioritizing first the very rotten ones on the end. So my dad took a trip to Menards just to get a few 8-footers to replace the first priorities, which were the rotten 8-footers, which I do in this video, with the intent of later going back and getting the rest of the 8-footers and the 16-footers. But after I tore out all of these 8-footers that I was going to replace, I found that there was a lot of rot underneath. I knew that there was some rot just on the outside. I did not know that the floor joists were going to be rotten in that area, which you will see in a second. I will show you, with me speaking from a few weeks ago, not knowing anything of what was going to happen. So you can save yourself these comments that I know are probably going to be commented, but let me just say, I was hired by my dad to just replace the 8-footers, and that is what I did in this video. And I had the mindset that if we decided it was too rotten and I needed to take them back out, it was easy enough to unscrew them and reuse them after we replaced what was rotten, which I did. So you can see the sheer amount of rot just on these rim joists, and the porch spindles, some of them were completely rotten. I knew that something was rotten because you could shake this railing before, but I did not know that I would expand to the floor joists in that area. So here is me showing you at least what I intended to show you in this video, which was me replacing some deck boards. So I countersinged all of the holes, even though the screws that I used don't actually require you to countersink them first because they are self-countersinking screws. They are really nice screws. But you may not always be using the screws, and it may be a lot harder for you to screw them in without countersinking, so I'm showing you how I did that. And then these 8-footers, the ones that I had to replace were not exactly 8 foot, so I had to cut them down. So I cut the first one down, and then I just used what I cut out to trace the rest, which worked just fine. So again, I went ahead and replaced the boards, and I was happy. I thought that was going to be it, and the new boards were a lot less creaky, and I just figured, that was kind of going to be it until further notice. And then I did replace those front steps too, and I went ahead and replaced the top of one of the railings with an extra scrap piece that would fit there. So just FYI, keep all of this in mind before you listen to what I have to say now. Hey everyone, welcome back to this porch project series that I've been working on. That was supposed to be just one video, and then found out that our porch is rotten, and it's going to be a lot more work than I had originally anticipated, so I replaced some of these deck boards in the last video, and now I gotta tear all of them back out because the floor joists are more rotten than we had expected. And I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see. Those rim joists gotta go too. So to figure out where the rot ends on this side of the porch, I'm going to take a circular saw and just run it along one of these floor joists and just keep going, next one, until it's the end of the rot. So eventually we're going to end up replacing all of the deck boards on this porch, but for now I'm just going to cut a line with a circular saw, tear out all of the deck boards up until that point, including the new ones. I will reuse them, and then we'll just replace all of the rotten floor joists, and we gotta replace these rim joists, and we'll just go from there. Okay, good, the rot ends there. So it's just looking like really everything up until where I cut, actually. So, I mean, that one's okay, but still gonna replace that. Then all of these bunch, it's all just completely rotten here. And then this last one might be okay to save. It's really just this whole center part here for some reason. I don't know if it was an issue with the gutters, but we just got a new roof and new gutters, new downspouts last year, so if that was the issue, then it should be okay now, but that's the next step. I gotta finish taking all these out except for this last one, because all of these rim joists are okay, and they don't affect the floor joists. But yeah, I gotta take all of this framing out, replace that all, and then put all new deck boards on this old porch.